Hey folks, hit the subscribe button and drop your thought in the comment below. Tell me what blown your mind about the wild story. You let me know if you want more epic tales like this. Dora, the monster gun that could fire shell as big as a tank. Imagine a weapon so massive, so crazy that it could launch a shell the size of a car and punch two walls thicker than your house. The Dora, a gigantic railroad gun built by Nazi Germany during World War II. This thing wasn't just a weapon, it was a beast, a symbol of wild ambition and a story that's make your jaw drop. Back in the mid-1930s, Germany was intending to prove itself after getting slammed with the toll rule from the Treaty of Versailles, signed after World War I. Those rules were like a leash, saying Germany could have a big weapon like tank or heavy guns. But when Adolf Hitler took charge, he was done plain nice. One day he strolled into the Krupp factory, this offered like an apple of weapon back then, and said, "Build me something crazy, a gun that can destroy anything." That's when the idea for Dora was born. Hitler didn't just want a gun, he wanted a monster that could blast through the bunker, tanks or wall. It wasn't just about winning fighter. It was about showing the world Germany is back and we are unstoppable. The guys that tapped for the job was a super smart professor named Erich Müller, who knew literally like your favorite Netflix show. He dove in headfirst, ready to turn Hitler's wild dream into reality. Why go so big? After World War I, Germany felt humiliated like the picket last in gym class. By the 1930s, they were secretly rebuilding their military, ignoring those old rules. Dora was their way of flexing, showing everyone they could build something nobody else could even dream of. It was less about being practical, than more about shooting. Look at us, but man, what a story it's a up. Let's think about it. Why do people chase these over-the-top ideas? It's like when someone builds a skyscraper just to say it's the tallest. There are real imposing limits by something in blinds you to the actually useful. That what makes Dura so fascinating is a mix of genius and madness, and we're gonna unpack it all. Okay, let's get a clear picture of this thing. Dora wasn't your average cannon. Its barrel was as long as football field, and the whole gun weighed as much as a small ship. To move it, you needed dozens of train car. Imagine a freight train stretching for miles just to haul one weapon. Setting up to 2 weeks with 100 of workers, cranes, and special track to the keep and study. The shell is fire, absolutely monster. Each one was heavier than a pickup truck and could fly as far as a small town is wide. Smashing to steel or concrete like they were pepper. When Dora fired, the noise was so loud you could hear it from miles away, and the ground shook like a small earthquake. It was the kind of thing that made people stop dead in their track and go, "What in the world was that?" But here the kicker, building and using Dora was a total headache. You needed thousands of people to make it work, engineers, soldiers, even anti-aircraft crew to protect it from enemy planes. It was like running a whole city just to fire one gun. And get this, they didn't just build one, they made two, Dora and her sister Gustav. They even had plans for a third, even begin one. But thank goodness that it never happened because the war turned against them. Let's pause and think. Building something this huge sound cool, but imagine the stress. Every piece had to be perfect and moving. It was like trying to relocate a skyscraper. It's like when you buy a fancy new gadget, but it takes forever to set up and needs constant fixing. Was Dora worth it? We'll get to that, but first, let's see it in action. By early 1914, Dora was ready to strut its stuff. The Germans took it to sacred testing ground, kind of like a top secret lab for weapon, to see what it could do. Imagine a bunch of big deal generals in fancy uniform, probably sweating a bit, watching as the giant gun get ready to fire. Then boom! The first shot goes off. The ground shakes and shells scream through the air, hitting the target miles away. Everyone jaws dropped at work. The test showed Dora could hit 4 of target with crazy power. It was like something out of sci-fi movie, blasting through those anything of the past. But even then, some folks were wondering, it's really worth it. It took forever to set up, and the results used to call build a bunch of tank or planes instead. Still, for the Nazis, it was like winning a bragging contest. They built the biggest, baddest gun around, and they wanted everyone to know it. This make me think something. Sometimes we get too caught up at making something huge or flashy that we forget to ask if it actually useful. It's like spending all your money on a fancy car that's always in the shop. Dora wasn't showstopper, but was it a game changer. Let's see what happened when I hit the battlefield. Dora only saw action once during a single Sevastopol, a town Soviet city on the Black Sea in the summer of 1942. The Germans was desperate to take his place, which was holding out like a fortress. They told Dora was their ace in the hole to break the city defense. So they howled this massive gun to a hilly spot near a village called Davankoi. They forced prison to dig a huge trench deep enough to hide a house to keep Dora safe from Soviet planes and guns. Locals who saw being moved at night said it sounded like a metal giant groaning in the dark. On a June morning, Dora fired its first shot. The target was a Soviet armor depot, and the blast was devastating. Over the next few days, it hammered a key spot like a coastal defense and command post. Each shot was a huge deal. Hour of prep, cloud of smoke, and roar that chews for miles. The shells hit their marks, causing chaos from the Soviet defenders. But here the deal. Dora wasn't the superhero weapon the Germans hoped for. It was slow, clunky, and took forever to fire. While it was being set up, the Soviets kept firing back, regrouping and hitting hard. Sevastopol eventually fell, but not because of Dora alone. It was the long brutal siege that did it. Dora was like bringing a slender hammer to knife fight, impressive, but not always the right tool. Let's reflect for a sec. Imagine being one of those Soviet soldiers, hearing that ear is shaking boom and knowing a monster shell was coming. It must been terrifying. But the Soviets didn't give up, and that reminded one of the human spirit straight, even against crazy odds. Stories like this make the history feel alive, don't they? Let's break down. Building Dora was insanely expensive. All the steel works and terrain needed called made ton of tanks or plane, which all being made more useful in a fast-moving war. Moving Dora was like trying to move a mountain, and every shot needed a small army to pull off. If we think about in today money, building something like Dora would cost millions and millions of dollars. Compare that a modern artillery gun like the one the USA used, which cost a fraction of that, but quick, mobile, and can fire away faster. Dora was like a fancy yacht that takes day to get ready for a short trip, not exactly practical. A famous Soviet weapon designer Vasily Grabin said is best. They built one gun when you could make a lots of smaller, reliable one. He nailed it. It war. You need stuff the fast and flexible, not a slow-moving beast that pain to use. Economically, Dora was a black hole, sucking up the resources Germany desperately needed elsewhere as the war turned against them. Let's zoom out. This isn't just about Dora. It's about how people something chase big, shiny projects, and sound cool but don't believe it. Think about companies today spending millions on a flashy tech that flops. History repeat itself, right? Dora, it's a lesson in focusing on what works, not just what whoops. What the war ended, the aliens formed Dora and the pieces in Bavaria. Soviet experts took it apart, studying every bolt and gear, but they weren't impressed. It was just a huge pile of metal, nothing revolutionary. That ended up melting it down for scrap, and Dora became a memory. Ever the Germans were crazy about it. Their own engineers said the only cool thing was how they got it work on the train tracks. But in the real war, it was more trouble than it was worse. Military experts then and now agree Dora was a flex, not a victory. This makes me wonder what the modern equivalent of Dora. Where are we building our guns today? Things that look impressive but don't solve real problem. Maybe it's a tech project or a mega building that cost too much for too little gun. History got a way of teaching us if we are listening. Even though Dora didn't win the war, it's still a legend. You can find model on a museum and old back and a white photo or super rare video clip make it look like something from a blockbuster movie. It show up in video games like Wolfenstein, where this massive scary weapon, or strategy game where you can try to use it. Good luck. Book and documentary loves to talk about it ultimate what it of World War II. For some, Dora is a symbol of human brain power pushed to the max. For others, especially those who like to the war, it's reminded of destruction and pain. The people of Sevastopol who felt its shell didn't see a marvel, they saw it as a nightmare. That duality, genius, and horror make Dora such a gripping story. I think about it. Stories like this connect us to the past. They remind us of what people are capable of, the better or worse, and they make you wonder, what stories will future generations tell about us? What doors are we building today? So what the big takeaway? Dora show us heaven when ambition runs wild. The Nazis wanted to build something to make the world shake, but they gone a gun that was most hustle the hero. It's a lesson for the day. Just because you can build something doesn't mean you should. Think about all the resources wasted on Dora, called gun to school, hospital, or better weapon. It's our world of drone, AI, and smart missiles. Dora feels like a relic, but its story still hits home. It's about focusing on what practical, not just what impressive. And it's a reminder of war cost behind every fancy weapon are real people, real lives, and real consequences. I can't help but reflect. Maybe Dora is worried about getting carried away, whether it's a government, a company, or even us, our daily lives. We have got to weigh the cost of our big ideas. Are we building something that make a real difference or just chasing and shiny dreams? Here are some wild tidbits about Dora to keep you glued. A whole army for one. It took thousands of people to run it, more than some small towns have. Super sneaky. The Germans hid it so well that even the workers digging its bunker didn't know what it was. Hard to hit. Soviet planes tried to bomb it, but its hiding spot was too smart. An even bigger plan. They wanted to build a third, even large gun, but ran out of time and stuff to make it. Super rare footage. There are only a few seconds of video showing Dora firing, and I like treasure for history nerds. One big question lingers. Why was Hitler so obsessed with gun stuff like this? Was it just hero ego, or did he think it would scare everyone into giving up? It's a mystery that keeps the story juice. Yo, if this story got you pumped, hit the subscribe button and let me know your comments what part blow your mind. Want more crazy history tale? Tell me and I'll keep you coming. Your support what makes this all happen. So let's keep digging into the past together. Thank you so much. Bye bye.